Well, Falcons fans, I'm gonna say something that's not gonna please the majority watching this, but I'm gonna say it. The Atlanta Falcons need to rebuild. It's time. It is so time to blow up this roster and start from scratch. Do something new. We cannot keep doing this to ourselves. You cannot tell me that all we need to do to fix the Falcons is just tweak up some things on this roster, like just fix the secondary just a little bit, fix up the offensive line just a little bit, and then change the head coach from Dan Quinn to someone like Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs or something. And we should be good. We should be a Super Bowl team, right? Nope. It's not going to happen. This roster, at best, is a 10-6 playoff team. But do you want just a playoff team? I don't. And by the way, that's definitely not going to happen anyway, because this team hasn't even won a game yet. And you cannot tell me the season is still alive when we let up 30-plus points and we blow leads. That is not a playoff team. And how many times are we going to do this? Every single year we say, well, the Falcons just need to tweak up some things and we should be good, right? We say that every single year. Every single year, we say that we just need to tweak it up. Well, tweaking it up is not working. It's time to do something new. For the defense, the secondary has always been trash. The pass rush always seems like it's going to be improved this time. It's going to be improved this time. Nope, still not good. And then the offense, how many times are we going to build a roster around Matt Ryan and Julio Jones? And I love those two players. They're going to be one of the best Falcons to ever play. But we've been doing this for a while now, haven't we? We've been building a roster around them for a good while. In 2012, we went to the NFC Championship game. We had an awesome team. Ever since the NFC Championship loss, we were never the same. In 2016, we went to the Super Bowl, almost won it with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and then we lost. Ever since that loss, we've never been the same. How many times are we going to do this to ourselves? You think we can keep getting something new with these two players and most other players that went to the Super Bowl? It's so time to move on. I appreciate everything that they've done for us, but it is time to move on. And fire Dan Quinn, for the love of humanity. Fire Dan Quinn. You know, it is hard for Arthur Blank because he probably loves working with Dan Quinn. He has a really good chemistry with him. And it's hard to fire someone that you really like. But as a business owner, you also have to do the smart thing and fire the guy. Fire Dan Quinn. He does not discipline his players. It's not just the coaches at fault, though. I think this roster is lying to us on paper, and I don't think this roster is as good as we think it is. I don't think this roster is as good as we think it is. If it's some Super Bowl roster, why aren't we looking like it? Why aren't we looking like a Super Bowl roster? Well, we look like a Super Bowl roster on offense, but the defense needs some work. Well, even if that's the case, the offense should be leading us to a Super Bowl, right? I mean, the Chiefs have a Super Bowl offense. They didn't have a defense, and they just won the Super Bowl, and they're still looking like they're going to be good. The Patriots, for a while, back then, not now, they have a really good defense now, but back then, the Patriots never had some elite defense, but their offense was really, really good, and they could win Super Bowls. So, if we have a Super Bowl roster, why isn't our offense carrying it? It's not. It is so not going to carry this roster. And the defense just gets worse and worse every single year. It's time to move on. Do you want to keep entering the season saying, well, we have Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, we could get things together? Or do you want to look forward to something new? You know, every time we say, well, we have Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, maybe things go well. You know what happens every time we say that? It never works out. What happens if we say, we have a new roster? Let's see where this takes us. We don't know where that's going to go. Might as well find out, because we know what the other option is going to do. It's going to downgrade every single season. We know what that option is going to do. So it's time to do something new. Arthur Blank, move on and do something new for the Atlanta Falcons. It's time. It is so time. And then when you do rebuild but keep Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and you do have that Super Bowl roster, those two players are going to be too old to play anyway. you gotta move on from them. I'm sorry. You do. And I will appreciate what they've done for us. They will go down as one of the best Falcons to ever play. And it's not that they're doing bad this year, though. This year, both of those players are doing good. But it's time to move on. I cannot deal with this anymore. I cannot walk into the season kidding myself that I think this is going to be a good season. We do this every year. Stop expecting and hoping that this is a Super Bowl roster. When you have a Super Bowl roster, I feel like you have to know it, right? You have to know that your team is going to do it. The Chiefs fans know their team is going to be good this year. The Ravens fans know their team is going to be good this year. The Packers fans know they're going to be a good team this year. The Seahawks fans know. For Falcons fans, you're hoping things go well. You're like, hopefully things go well. Dan Quinn hopefully can turn things around. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are still here. Hopefully we can get things going. We got to stop hoping. I don't want to look forward to the same disappointing result. I want to try something new and have something new to talk about with you all. Don't you? I love moving on. I do. I love moving on to see what's next. I hate when things go back in the past and we have to go back to see what happened back then. It's not fun. I love seeing what's in front of me. I want to see the Falcons do the same thing. Move on. Okay. Anyway, the rest of that rant is probably for a different video. The Falcons had a really bad loss to the Chicago Bears, and they yet again blew another lead. Let's get into that starting right now. Before we get started on our Week 3 game recap, I should probably tell you how my game recaps work here at Rise Up Rundown. And if you were here to see how my game recaps worked last year, nothing has changed. This year, we go over 3 things. First, what went good during the game for the Atlanta Falcons, then what went bad during the game for the Atlanta Falcons, and 3 is other news outside of what happened during the game. Like maybe one of our divisional rivals lost and it gives us a chance to win the division, or there's major injuries that we need to talk about, stuff like that. And let's start with what went good during this game versus the Chicago Bears. Not much, but somehow there are some things that went good. And somehow, some way, the passing game is not one of them. Yeah, right? I honestly did not think the passing game looked good in this game. I'm sorry, I didn't. But what I did think looked good was the running game. Believe it or not, Dirk Cutter actually did a pretty solid job of running the ball. Todd Gurley had himself 14 attempts for 80 yards and 1 touchdown. He actually averaged 5.7 yards per carry. And then Brian Hill had 9 attempts for 58 yards, 1 touchdown, and averaged 6.4 yards per carry. He also had a really big, I believe it was a 35-yard touchdown in this game. Wow, this running game I thought looked really, really good. They could have kept doing that to save some time for the Falcons to win this game, but instead the Falcons decide to throw the ball on second down late in the fourth quarter, and then it is incomplete and it stops the clock, and it gives the Bears a chance to come back when they could have just ran the ball, which was working during the whole game. Anyway, another thing that went good, of course, was Calvin Ridley. Julio Jones was out, and though Calvin Ridley didn't exactly get a touchdown, he still had himself a really good day. 5 receptions for 110 yards. I feel like they just stopped throwing to him, later in the game. I feel like he had all those receptions in the first half of the game, and then after that, I feel like you just never heard from him again. That's just what I felt. But he had himself a really good game. I am looking like I'm wrong about Calvin Ridley. He looks like he's a capable number 1 wide receiver instead of just a wide receiver number 2 at best. And then the last thing that went good was freaking Darqueze Dennard. He was keeping us in the game, to be honest with you. For a while, he was like the MVP of the game until he got injured maybe somewhere near the fourth quarter, I think. But he had himself 1 interception, a really good interception, and then 2 passes defended, and both Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles really did not want to throw his way, and if they did, Darqueze Dennard was just all over it. He had himself a really good game. And I might have been wrong about him too. I said, he's just a depth signing. He's not going to do a whole lot for us. Well, he's doing a lot better than Isaiah Oliver and AJ Terrell and, well, everyone else on the secondary. So Darqueze Dennard had himself a really good game. And sadly, that's all that went good for the Atlanta Falcons. What went bad, though? Oh my gosh, where do I even start, to be honest with you? Okay, here's the first thing I want to talk about. Where the actual was the pass rush? Sorry, I shouldn't curse. Where was the pass rush? Like, they literally played Where's Waldo in the whole game. Like, week 1, they were great. They were awesome. Takk McKinley looked like he's finally in for a breakout season. Week 2, they were there for a little bit, and then Takk McKinley got injured, and then I warned you, I said, Takk McKinley's injury is sadly actually going to be a problem. I never thought I was going to say that, but it is. And, well, the pass rush is literally nowhere to be seen. Grady Jarrett gets injured, so that just made it worse. The pass rush is playing hide and seek. I don't know where that went, but it's nowhere. And then the secondary, except for Darqueze Dennard, the secondary is total donkey doo-doo. Isaiah Oliver, I don't know how he's still a starter at this point. I would put in literally anyone over him. Gosh, Julio Jones could play corner better than he can. Isaiah Oliver is a bust. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you can seriously defend him. AJ Terrell, not good in the... No, he didn't even play. I'm sorry. AJ Terrell didn't even play. So we had other corners having to play, like Bleedy Ray Wilson. This secondary is terrible. DeMonte KZ sucked. Keanu Neal sucked. This whole entire secondary is trash. It is absolutely garbage. I don't know. It was a concern heading into the season, and it's even worse than we thought it was going to be. It is seriously worse than we thought it was going to be. It's so embarrassing to watch Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears put up 30-plus points against a trash Falcons secondary. It is so terrible. I actually think this is the worst secondary I've seen from the Atlanta Falcons. It is seriously that bad. It is seriously so bad. And then Younghoe Koo missed some kicks, and now he's going to be injured for a little bit. And then the last thing, I know you don't want to hear me say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Matt Ryan did not play good in this game, and I'm going to stand up for what I saw. I love Matt Ryan. He's the best Falcons quarterback to ever play. But I'm sorry, he did not play good in this game. I mean, you can say, oh, well, the Bears' pass rush is getting to him, which, yes, that is true. The O-line was not good in this game. I forgot to mention that. The O-line was trash. But anyway, that is true. Matt Ryan did have pressure, but you cannot deny Matt Ryan was overthrowing all these receivers. I mean, so many vertical plays that could have gotten us a first. Matt Ryan, nope, overthrown. Every single time I saw a deep throw, I was like, that's it, nope, overthrown. And then when the Bears do score late in the game, and the Falcons are like, okay, now we got to go down and score. He's Matty Ice, right? No, what the actual heck throw was that? A clear interception. He just totally overthrew Calvin Ridley. Oh my gosh, Matt Ryan was seriously donkey doo-doo in this game. It was just embarrassing to see this team play. I mean, they had it for a little bit. And I said on Twitter, like, when the Falcons were leading 26-10, I was like, okay, we got to contain ourselves. They could choke this. And then for a while, I was like, we actually might hold on. Oh my gosh, seriously. I actually had faith that they were going to hold on. Then the Bears score, and Matt Ryan throws an interception. Oh my gosh, this leads into other news. I don't even need to talk about, oh, the Saints are 1-2. Oh my, like, nope. The only thing I need to tell you, the season's over. I hate to break it to you, but the season is definitely over. When people say, oh, well, technically there's a chance, you do realize you're betting on Dan Quinn to turn this thing around, right? That is what you're telling the whole world. You're basically saying, I believe in Dan Quinn to turn this thing around. Look yourself in the mirror and say that you believe in Dan Quinn. I mean, are you kidding me? This dude is not going to turn this thing around. At 0-3, and you can't hold on to leads, you think the season is not over. It's going to be a rough season. It is. We are probably going to finish dead last in the division, and if not dead last, definitely third, because we're not making playoffs. We are definitely not making playoffs. The Panthers and the Miami Dolphins, for crying out loud, they have a win before we do. It is seriously so sad. What does that tell you? This means that we are not a good team, and we're definitely not in for a playoff season. It's just, it is over. It is over for the Atlanta Falcons. It is so over. And now we got to play the Green Bay Packers on Monday night. Heck, we might even lose to the Panthers for once, because at least they're looking more competitive and they can at least win a game. It is so embarrassing. We are definitely in for a long season. But that's my take on that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with a game preview versus the Green Bay Packers this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support. As always, rise up.